Senator
that
Benson,
helped.
give us your runs, hits, and errors on what you accomplished or didn't accomplish this time around.
Well, we had a really productive session. We decided we were going to take on health reform head-on. We started out with premium rebates. We implemented one of the first in the nation reinsurance programs. We had MSHA in place. The Affordable Care Act dissolved that, and so we had to reinstate a reinsurance program. We've been shepherding that through the federal government in cooperation with our federal delegation. We got Sunday sales started in the House, finished in the Senate. Real ID got done. We passed a budget, including big tax cuts for the first time in a really long time, a solid transportation package. So I'd say really productive, and we used every minute.
Senator Hoffman, what do you think about this session now that it's history?
Every minute was used. Absolutely. It absolutely was. You know, I remember the other morning we were at a North Metro or Metro North chamber event and talking with Senator Benson, and Senator Chamberlain was there, Senator Abler, Senator Newton as well. There's a whole list of legislators that were there. And you know, it came down to working those long hours. There were some compromises that came up. And so I heard you and Senator Chamberlain say, we got some of the stuff we wanted and we got some of the stuff we didn't want, but there was a compromise. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I think it was. And we talked openly about, you know, the process. We really need to fix the process. You know, and I know Senator Benson agrees with me on this. I know Senator Gazelka actually said to Senator Bach, he agrees that we can change this process. The conferencing committee process is broken, and we really need to take a step back and look at how we did it. The 3 days of the special session allowed us, you know, to be able to table bills and then break up into our caucuses and have discussion. But prior to getting there, you know, there really was this, you know, hurriedness that was going on, and it's part of the old system. And I think, you know, we're going to agree to change that. But it was really, it's saddened for me to see that some of the stuff that was happening, you know, late at night. And again, you know, got this mythical clock that says you have to be done by midnight, and everybody's running toward that. I would like to see a better, more, I don't want to use transparent, but more accountable to the public interest, and be more open about that in the future. I think it would do. And I do want to say there were some great things that we got done that we started and finished. And you know, the battle of education, we know education is the important equalizer in the state of Minnesota. And, you know, we 2 and 2% is very good. We've kept that promise that we've done. I think the last 4 years we've been able to continue that piece, fix some compensatory education models that are out there. Had a debate. There was a lot of differences between the House and the Senate, and so, you know, coming together with the House on some provisions, they wanting to delink early childhood, which is just not a game changer. It was not something that would have been a game changer, and to see that conversation happen, because we know kiddos ready for kindergarten, first, second, and third grade are moving the benchmarks. We see that in the Anoka-Hennepin School District, which, by the way, did I mention, Michelle? It is the largest school district, isn't it?
It's the largest school district, yes. And we both have
I
the
knew
privilege
that.
of serving.
I knew that because you said it earlier. But I didn't, okay.
When I was on the school board, Michelle was newly elected, and so we would always have these open conversations about just what's important for our area, and we know that, and that stayed with me, you know, up until the session. So, you know, lots of discussion in that, and I think we need to fix some systems that were there, because I think there were some folks, and even some newly elected Republican senators I know, that were really kind of displeased with how the process is working. So if anything out of this, I would say it was successful because of the compromises that we all came together on, but yet we need to tweak some changes in how we do the business.
Representative Albright, from the House side, what's your
from the House? You know, Senator Hoffman, I think you hit a key point that I also would reiterate, but I think it goes back to when do we get the information that we need to assess, you know, our committee structure. I mean, the forecast comes out in February,
March, yeah.
And then the governor comes out with his budget probably later that same month. And so by the time that we actually have an opportunity to assess what we've got to deal with, where we're going to put the stakes in the ground, and assess what the governor is wanting to in his budget, his or her budget, we've got half of a session left. And so if you want to talk about fundamental reform, I don't know that it's necessarily about the committee structure. It is when do we get an opportunity to look at the data and assess, you know, if that forecast were to come out earlier. I mean, if we're missing half of our regularly scheduled session, just for the sake of waiting for key pieces to come down, and plop in our lap, it just shortens the amount of time. So it's no wonder that the end of session is kind of a gambit in terms of, every hour and every minute of every hour is utilized. So if we had more time at the beginning of the session, I think that we would be more productive. Certainly, we'd have a little more opportunity to take a nap or sleep regularly, as some would want. But I do think that there are some structural issues that we could address and work bipartisanly to move the timeline up a little bit so we have a more robust, full regular session as opposed to an abbreviated one.
Representative Applebaum, did you feel that kind of time pressure, lagging, not enough information, then too much right at the end?
Well, this is the second year in a row the second session in a row, rather, that we've had this issue. I'm in the minority again, so we aren't privy to all information and are really subject to the whim of the majority whose job it is to govern. But I think Minnesotans are sick and tired of having their elected officials make huge decisions, in this case passing $46 billion worth of bills at literally the last minute or overtime in this case, because for whatever reason, people can't seem to get the job done on time. We have 5 months to do this. I understand it's hectic, but it can't be that hard to finish this on time. We have 5 months every day. It's our only job, finish on time, and we didn't do it again. So people are sick of it, and it's really too bad, and we do need to make major reforms to let the public know what's in these bills. Most of the time, the legislators don't even know. You've heard news reports lately coming out, and that's, where we may not be done for the year. But the public needs to weigh in. They need to understand what's going on, and I think it's really too bad that this continues to happen.
And let's just be clear, we had the earliest budget deadlines in memory. House and Senate agreed to set early deadlines. The governor said that we should have joint targets by April 28th. The House and Senate met every single deadline that was set out. We needed the governor to come with three-way targets that would have eliminated some of the problem. We sent actually 2 rounds of budget bills, a full round that got vetoed because we didn't have commissioners coming to the table, and then a second round where the governor was fully engaged, but that really compressed that second round of bills. They looked a lot like the first round because that was the template, but had we had engagement earlier, had we had that intense work schedule on those earlier budget bills, we wouldn't have had to had 2 rounds of budget bills put in place. And so earliest deadlines in anyone's memory at the legislature. And we met the governor's requirement for April 28th, joint legislative targets. So there are things we can do to improve the process, but by setting an early aggressive calendar, we really tried to open up that process.